what is load balancer. Okay, and when we talk about load balancer, generally people think na ki this is the concept of system design, or some might be thinking this is a concept of DevOps. How my Uber server is going to handle this 1 million traffic? So that is the question. What if the scenario is there ki one of the resources is added? All 4 requested will be divided into these 4 resources, that none of them resources will be one term that is called overcrowding. Hello, in this video we are going to talk about load balancer and what it is, how we can use it and what it do. Okay, so today's agenda is load balancer. So let's understand first ki what is load balancer. Okay, and when we talk about load balancer, generally people think na ki this is the concept of system design, or some might be thinking this is a concept of DevOps. But either it can be concept of DevOps or system design, but it is a concept of scalability of application. Whenever you are building an application, whenever you are launching a product, it will be launched not for only 10 people, 15 people. There might be chances, there might be scenarios your product will be reaching to millions of the crowd, and if the million of the crowd came to your application, is your application capable enough to handle that much crowd? So let's understand with the architecture of Uber. Uber is considered one of the best architecture that nowadays in the town of system design. So let's first understand that what exactly the load balancer is. So if I talk about load balancer, so let's understand what is load balancer actually. So load balancer is a technique to balance the load, as the name suggests. Then how and why we require it? So let's understand with an example. So let's take an example of Uber. Let's study the Uber. And for example, you at 10 a.m. start booking the cab. So for example, there's a 3 user trying to get the connection to Uber's connection through internet. You are connected to Uber server. Let's understand. Okay, this is Uber server, or server that gives you the Uber's response. This is the connection, and this is user 1, this is user 2, and this is user 3, and all of them is trying to get the ride book done in the morning to reach the office. Okay, but till the time this user is 1, 2, 3, this server can handle this particular load of 3 requests at their own, no issues. Only 3 requests is coming onto the server. Server is efficiently able to handle the crowd of 3 people. But what if, imagine this particular number goes up to 1 million. Now the crowd is 1 million. Then how my Uber server is going to handle this 1 million traffic? So that is the question. So for that particular process, we require load balancer. And what exactly load balancer is? Let me give you the idea what exactly the load balancer is working. Load balancer's main perspective or main responsibility is to manage the resources efficiently. And when you talk about resources, that means the server's capacity. So if there are multiple instances, so there are high chances that Uber doesn't have only a single server. They have backup server and backup entity. For example, there is a 4 servers of Uber, and there's a 1 million traffic or 1000 traffic coming in the morning for ride booking. So they all will be trying to get the connection through internet. They are be connecting through internet, and here internet will be in the middle of the request and the response. One middleware type of thing, one guy will be sitting, that is known as load balancer. Here the load balancer, load BR, let's give the name the load BR. Here the load balancer sits and manage all the crowd. So the first task of the load balancer, if I talk about, the first task is, the first responsibility of load balancer is to manage resource. What it do? It manage resources. How it manage resources? For example, there is a request that is coming. For example, there is a 4 request that is coming, and it is a load balancer. And here the instance of servers. There is a backup server, backup entity of Uber. There is a all, they are connected. They are asking for a ride booking. I want to book a ride. So load balancer, what it will do, it will manage the resources evenly or on distribution basis. For example, one request is given to this, one request is given to this, one request is given to this, and rest of the request is given to this. So all four requested will be divided into these four resources, that none of the resources, none of them resources will be one term that is called overcrowded. Overcrowding problem will not be there because the load balancer is taking care of all the resources. ठीक है, done कि load balancer can manage the resource well. But what if the scenario, what is the case when one of the server, for example, one of the server is down? There might be scenarios, there might be cases ki one of the server gets down. What it is, the second responsibility of the load balancer is to, in case of failure, because in case of failure, request will not be stop coming, na, request will be coming. So for example, there's a 4 requests or 4,000 requests were coming, or we were having only 3 servers. Now we are having only 3 servers, and the fourth wala server tha, that is not available right now. So these requests will be hitting on the load balancer, and this particular load will be transferred in between those 3. That is, I talked about this point na, ki load balancer is smart enough to manage this load very efficiently, and if this one particular entity or the resources is not available by the time it is in the downtime, then all those this wala task, that the task that was assigned to server number 4 will be delegated to rest of the servers. Okay, till the time your brother or till the time other resources is getting back up, you can take care of the load. Now what if the scenario is there ki one of the resources is added? So let's take an example ki one of the resources is added into it. Now let's understand this ki this resource is added new, so this will be sitting ideal. In your opinion, this might be sitting ideal, but no, load balancer is also taking care of this ki if any new resources is coming, so this particular resource will also be given this particular load. Okay, now you are new, welcome to the club, and now start working. So the task will be assigned to this resources as well. And it also, the case can be this also, ki all the traffic is directed toward the one server. There might be chances ki there are the load based system that is called weighted round robin. I'll come to that. This server is receiving more responses. As I talked about, ki load balancer has the ability to transfer the load as per the capacity of the resources as well. So instead of passing the resources, the rest of the resources will be coming to server number, entity number 4. Ki okay, now it's your time that you are sitting ideal for a long duration. Now come, welcome to the club, and now start processing the task. Now what is the benefit of those particular thing? Why we are doing it, why we are requiring this particular thing? So the major requirement of this task is minimal downtime. This is the thing that every application target, that we should be down for the minimum duration. We cannot afford the downtime. For example, downtime means hota ki server is down for particular hour. So if Uber gets down for 2 hours, 3 hours, the business gets down, the money flow can be hindered. So they don't want to get their application down for the longer duration. So if they are having a load balancer, so if any server goes down, they will have a backup servers. That's why in case of failure of the request, your request will not be treated as a failure. It will be redirected to different resource, resource number 2 in case of failure from resource number 1. So you will receive the response for your request. Now what are those methods, what are the technique that we use to imply this or application of this particular load balancer? There are multiple techniques. The first one is called round robin. Round robin means that is called static distribution system, that load will be divided ki if 4 requests is there, so there are 2 resources, so 2 requests will be processed by this, 2 requests processed by this. And there is a one more algorithm, this is called weighted round robin. It is weighted round robin, WRR. And what it do, WRR do generally prefers the server's capacity. First they analyze the server capacity, what is the capacity of the server. For example, it can handle the 4 requests, it will be transferred the 4 requests, this incoming rest of the requests will be treated by the server number 2, right? And this is a few of the algorithm that we use. There are many more algorithm like a priority wala algorithm. There are multiple algorithms to implement this. There are famous algorithm round robin and weighted round robin to get the application done of load balancer. And why we study this in web development? Because whenever you build application, you want to scale it after some time. When you want to scale it, you will require backup server. When you require backup server, so there is a case key how you balance the load. If the load is coming on the heavy side, 1 million user, the 10,000 user coming on the servers to process his request, how we are going to handle the request without getting down. So this is the concept of load balancer. I hope आपको पसंद आया होगा. You like this video. तो मिलते हैं next video. In the next video we'll see Redux, that how you can implement Redux and what is Redux and what are the benefit of Redux. Thank you.